What does it take to become unstoppable? What separates the greatest performers in the world from everyone else? Is it talent, genetics, intelligence, or luck? Tim Grover, the legendary trainer behind Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dwyane Wade, argues that the single defining trait of greatness is relentlessness, not motivation, not inspiration. Relentlessness, the ability to keep going when everyone else stops, to push beyond pain, fear, doubt, and exhaustion, to demand more of yourself than anyone else can ever ask of you, to refuse limits and refuse excuses. That is the message at the heart of Relentless by Tim Grover, one of the most intense and transformative mindset books ever written. Grover reveals a brutal truth. Becoming relentless is not comfortable. It is not balanced. It is not easy. But it is the path to greatness. Grover says that the greatest performers in the world, people like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, were not great because they were gifted. They were great because they demanded greatness from themselves every single day. Relentless people do not hope to win. They expect to win. They do not seek comfort. They hunt challenge. They do not wait for the right moment. They create it. They do not care about approval. They care about results. Grover explains that relentless people operate with a mentality few people understand and even fewer can handle. They are willing to go to places mentally and emotionally that average people avoid. They are driven by internal fire, not external praise. One of the central concepts in Relentless is the idea of 3 types of performers: coolers, closers, and cleaners. Coolers do their job well, but never lead. They wait for instructions. They do not thrive under pressure. Closers perform extremely well and deliver when needed, but they require structure, support, and recognition. Cleaners, however, are the unstoppable elite. Cleaners dominate. Cleaners do not just perform well. They take control. They do not need to be told what to do. They already know. They do not need motivation. They are self-driven. They do not collapse under pressure. They come alive in pressure. Michael Jordan was a cleaner. Kobe Bryant was a cleaner. Cleaners are feared, respected, and often misunderstood. Grover explains that cleaners do not compete with others. They compete with themselves. They push past their own limits and reinvent standards. They do not stop because they are tired. They stop when they are done. They do not care about being liked. They care about being legendary. Grover writes that greatness isolates because few people are willing to pay the price. Becoming relentless means giving up comfort, excuses, distractions, and approval. It means being willing to be alone at the top. Relentlessness also requires embracing your dark side, the part of you that hungers, obsesses, and refuses to settle. Grover explains that every high performer has a dark side, and instead of fearing it or hiding it, relentless people harness it. The dark side is the internal fuel that allows you to continue when your body is done and your mind is screaming for relief. The dark side is the voice that whispers, "Keep going, you are not finished. You can do more." Average people hide from their dark side because it feels uncomfortable and uncontrollable. Champions learn to channel it with discipline. Grover also emphasizes the importance of simplicity. Relentless performers eliminate distractions and focus only on what moves them closer to winning. If something does not help them succeed, it does not belong. They say no more than they say yes. They are not trying to please anyone. They are building greatness. Grover argues that too many people chase balance instead of mastery. Balance is the enemy of greatness. If you want to be unstoppable, you must prioritize what matters above everything else. Another major theme in Relentless is pressure. Grover explains that pressure reveals character. Under pressure, you see who you are. Most crumble. Some survive, a few rise. Relentless performers do not avoid pressure, they seek it. They train for it. They crave it because pressure is where leaders emerge and legends are made. They do not fear the moment. They become the moment. Where others panic, they become calm, focused, and deadly effective. Grover explains that relentless people do not talk about their work. They show it. They do not need to announce their intentions. Their results speak for them. They do not show emotion in battle. They stay composed while others fall apart. Cleaners do not celebrate wins or dwell on losses. They move on immediately. Success is temporary. Winning is a cycle that never ends. The reward for winning is the opportunity to win again. Champions do not relax after victory. They begin preparing for the next one. Relentless also teaches that success comes with sacrifice. To be relentless is to choose obsession over balance. It is to prioritize greatness above comfort. It requires sacrificing free time, entertainment, excuses, and sometimes relationships. Grover says that greatness comes at a cost, and most people are unwilling to pay it. People say they want success until they see the price. They want the glory, but not the grind. The relentless embrace the grind. They thrive in discomfort. They are willing to suffer now to live free later. Grover also confronts the myth of motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes based on emotion. Motivation disappears when life gets difficult. Relentless people do not rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. They do what is required, whether they feel like it or not. Champions are consistent. They build systems that guarantee performance even on days they feel weak. They understand that discipline creates success, and success amplifies discipline. Another powerful lesson in the book is ownership. Cleaners take total responsibility for every result. They do not blame teammates, coaches, bosses, weather, luck, or circumstances. They evaluate themselves honestly and relentlessly. When something fails, they do not make excuses. They make adjustments. They fix problems. They improve constantly. They know that accountability is power. Grover emphasizes that relentless people are driven by an internal standard. They do not measure themselves by others. They do not compete for approval. They are motivated by becoming the greatest version of themselves. Their expectations exceed external expectations. Their standards are non-negotiable. Cleaners are relentless about preparation. They train harder than everyone else. They study more intensely. They commit more deeply. They are willing to do what others cannot or will not. Another theme in Relentless is accepting that not everyone will support you. Grover warns that when you chase greatness, people will criticize you, misunderstand you, and resent you. They will say you changed. But winners must change. Growth demands change. Elevation requires separation. If you want to be unstoppable, you must be willing to stand alone. Champions transform criticism into fuel. They do not waste energy defending themselves. They keep moving. Grover also reveals that relentless individuals are not fearless. They feel fear. They simply refuse to obey it. They move toward fear instead of avoiding it. Fear means growth. Fear means challenge. Fear means expansion. The relentless understand that everything they want is on the other side of fear. The big takeaway from Relentless is this: greatness is a choice. Winning is a choice. Being unstoppable is a choice. Most people will never make that choice because the cost is too high. But for those who do, life expands in unimaginable ways. There are no limits except the ones you accept. There are no barriers except the ones you refuse to break. Relentlessness is not about being better than others. It is about being better than your previous self. It is about refusing to settle, refusing to quit, refusing to compromise. So what part of Relentless speaks to you? The idea that greatness requires sacrifice? The reminder that pressure reveals character? The understanding that discipline defeats motivation? Or the challenge to choose obsession over balance? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this summary, like this video, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and tap the bell so you never miss our weekly deep dives into life-changing books. Remember, becoming relentless is not for everyone. But if it is for you, then start now. Start today. And refuse to stop. Greatness belongs to the relentless.